So the dynamics, supply-demand dynamics of helium have changed fairly radically in the last few weeks, but also the long-term trend is that we'll be seeing more uses directed towards the high-tech area.
Welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Howard Mclaughlin. He is the CEO of Quantum Helium Limited. And Howard, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm good, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thanks very much. And I know you've had a key approval, a real milestone for the company that we want to talk about today. But before we get to that, maybe just remind everyone a little bit about the company itself and about this project you're looking at.
Okay, well, primarily we have pivoted towards helium exploration and production. This was back in 2024. And this has led to the identification of a couple of really attractive areas in the Four Corners area of Colorado, which we acquired both of them early in 2025. So we've been working diligently doing various technical work like 3D seismic programs and whatnot to validate the structures that we're seeing. And the key point was when we bought the producing properties from a CBO company, it was identified early in the piece. In fact, what attracted us was the existence of the Sagebrush 1 well, which drilled down into the Leadville helium zone, and they cased the hole. So that gave us a real leg up. That we then identified from a gas analysis that it had almost 3% helium in the gas, and it was a very large structure. So that again just pushes us forward down the timeline where we don't have to drill an exploration well. We already have a well, and we already have it cased and ready to test, and the testing is literally underway right now.
Yeah. And you were waiting for a key approval on this, and that's what the news is about, that you received that from the Bureau of Indian Affairs, correct?
Yeah, we've had a number of approvals come through in the last little while. We had our Indian Minerals Agreement approved for Coyote Wash. We've had the assignment of the Sealy acreage approved, and then we were waiting and finally got the approval for operatorship. So all these things were queued up, waiting to happen. And it's just the bureaucracy that you live with. But we got through it. We had a lot to do in the meantime. We were waiting on these things, so we're now moving very quickly into the operational side of the business.
Yeah, and that's the key part of this. As you mentioned, the testing is going to take several weeks in order to finish, but it puts you in a really good position now, having everything in order now, getting ready for the next sort of stage here.
Yeah, we're really excited with this test. It's really quite fundamental because this well while it was successfully DST'd in the past and did produce gas to surface, it hasn't ever been production tested. So there's not that many Leadville wells with helium in them that have been tested in this area. So we're very excited.
Yeah, and this step really will allow you to move the helium into a certain category that gets you sort of set up for commercial development, right? I mean, these are all steps that need to be taken.
Yeah, that's right. And as soon as we get a test that we're happy with, we're going to be testing a couple of zones, and we get a good flow rate. We'll engage Sproul again, and they will remove move the resources across to reserves. That gives us the financial and the certainty to go ahead and start really seriously looking at the front end engineering for a helium separation plant.
Okay. And lastly, Howard, people may not know this, but the importance of helium in the world right now, and a lot of people think helium and think of balloons, obviously, but MRI machines, but also in the defense sector, such a need for helium, and there's such a shortage around the world.
Well, and the Iran war hasn't helped matters on that with the bombing of the Ras Laffan LNG facility. So that slowed down a lot of helium coming out of that area of the world that was more or less destined towards Asia. But I think what it's going to do, it's going to focus people on the need for indigenous supplies in their own country, particularly the United States. One of the biggest upcoming uses for helium, of course, is in chip manufacturing
Yeah.
for the GPUs and other chips that run the data centers and the AI data centers around the country. So this is anticipated to dwarf the other uses, including medical and aerospace, by quite a margin over the next few years. So the dynamics, supply demand dynamics of helium have changed fairly radically in the last few weeks, but also the long-term trend is that we'll be seeing more uses directed towards the high-tech area.
Yeah, and put you in a very good position as well as you continue on here. So, Howard, thanks so much. Great to see you. Congratulations on this, and we look forward to many more conversations about what's going on the ground. Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate it.
All right. There's Howard Mclaughlin, the CEO of Quantum Helium Limited.